John Jones, an explorer, entered a cave near Utah Lake with the intention of exploration. During his search, he decided to set a new record by squeezing into the tightest space in the cave. However, he had no idea that this decision would be the last one of his life. Crawling through the narrow pathways of the cave known as Nutty Putty, he accidentally lost his way and entered a part of the cave where no one had ever been before, a space as tight as a coffin, where even moving his hands was impossible, let alone breathing easily. Unfortunately, in this condition, John got stuck upside down. This is the story of 26-year-old John Jones, whose last 27 hours of life were spent inside this cave. Today, once again, welcome back, viewers, to Forgotten Mystery Videos. Logically, dear viewers, near Salt Lake City in Utah, there are small rock formations that house the Nutty Putty Cave, a hydrothermal cave. It was first discovered in 1960 by a man named Dale Green. Since then, thousands of adventurous young individuals have visited the cave to test their skills. Nutty Putty Cave is well known for its tight, slippery, and winding pathways. There is only one entrance, which is just 30 inches wide, meaning only those with a chest and waist under 30 inches can fit inside. Every year, around 20,000 people visited to test their caving skills. However, between 1999 and 2004, several accidents occurred, leading to concerns about the cave's safety. In one incident, a 23-year-old man was trapped deep in the cave for 8 hours. In another case, a young man was stuck upside down in the cave for an entire night. Due to these accidents, authorities decided to close Nutty Putty Cave in 2006. However, professional cavers argued that the cave should only be closed to inexperienced individuals, as most accidents involved those without proper caving experience. On the other hand, officials believed that Nutty Putty Cave was like a ticking time bomb that could take another life at any moment. The debate between professional cavers and officials continued, and in 2007, the cave was reopened with new regulations. A management committee was formed to permit entry only to individuals with significant caving experience and professional equipment. Those wishing to enter had to apply for a permit 21 days in advance. Brothers John and Josh Jones applied for this permit. On November 24, 2009, at 8 p.m., 26-year-old John Jones entered the Nutty Putty Cave system with his group. The brothers had some caving experience, but had never been inside Nutty Putty before. For the first hour, everything went smoothly as they explored the largest cavity of the cave, known as the Big Slide. At this point, John, Josh, and 2 other friends decided to take on a greater challenge by venturing deeper into the cave. Their target was the most difficult section, called the birth canal. The birth canal was so tight that very few had ever dared to approach it. Not only was it extremely narrow, but even finding the correct path to it was difficult. Many people in the past had gotten stuck trying to reach the birth canal. However, John, his brother, and their 2 friends were fit and confident, so they decided to proceed. The rest of their team remained behind. The idea of reaching the birth canal had originated with John, so he led the way. The path was so tight that John had to crawl on his stomach, believing he was entering the birth canal. However, he unknowingly took a wrong turn and entered a passage called the corkscrew. This was an area where only the slimmest cavers could fit. Looking at the cave map, John should have turned right to reach the birth canal, but instead, he turned left. As he moved forward, the passage became even narrower, making it impossible for him to turn back. Hoping the passage would widen further ahead, he kept going. At one point, he noticed a small downward opening and thought he could turn back from there. However, as soon as he entered the 10 by 18-inch space, he encountered a dead end. Now, John was stuck upside down, in a space as small as a washing machine. His head was facing downward, His legs were up, and his arms were pressed against his body, making movement impossible. John tried multiple times to free himself, but failed each time. At this point, he started calling for his brother. A few minutes later, Josh arrived and could only see John's legs. Initially, Josh made light of the situation, but when he realized the severity, he panicked. Josh tried pulling John's legs several times, but instead of helping, it made things worse as John slid even deeper into the tight space. Realizing they needed professional help, the brothers faced another issue. There was no mobile signal inside the deep cave. Josh had to exit the cave to call 911 and then return to his brother. About 3 hours later, the first rescue team arrived. The first rescuer, Susie Motola, spent 2 hours trying to free John but quickly realized he was far more stuck than expected. The space was so tight that she even cut John's jeans to create half an inch of extra space, but it was no use. Exhausted, Susie had to exit the cave. Outside, John's wife, daughter, and 30 other rescue workers had gathered. They considered various rescue options, including amputating his legs. Eventually, they agreed to use ropes and a pulley system to pull John out. However, installing the pulleys required drilling into the cave walls without causing rock slides. The risk was that any broken rock could block John's exit. During the drilling, some rocks slid and hit John. The rescue operation, 700 feet deep in the cave, was both challenging and time-consuming. Due to the narrow passage, only one rescuer could work at a time. By now, over 100 rescue workers had arrived. A doctor in the team raised another concern. Since John was stuck upside down, his organs would start failing in about 10 hours. The human body is designed to stay upright, with the heart positioned to pump blood downward efficiently. Being upside down meant John's heart had to work extra hard to pump blood upward, increasing his risk of a heart attack. Hearing this, rescuers intensified their efforts. Hours later, the pulley system was ready. As they pulled John, they faced another problem. His legs were stuck at an angle where they couldn't bend, and his feet hit the cave ceiling as they pulled. Despite the difficulty, they managed to pull John far enough out that rescuers could finally see his face. His eyes were red, but for the first time in 19 hours, he saw the outside world. One final pull would have freed him, but at the last moment, the pulley failed, and John slipped back into the tight space where he had been stuck for nearly 20 hours. In their final attempt, rescuers tried breaking the surrounding rocks to free him, but by then, it was too late. John had stopped moving and responding. His wife spoke to him through the radio, trying to wake him up, but there was no response. A paramedic was sent in to check his pulse. The worst was confirmed. John Jones was declared dead at 11:50 p.m. on November 25, 2009. His wife couldn't believe that her husband had died due to such a small mistake. Initially, doctors had expected John to survive only 10 hours, but due to his good health, he managed to live for 17 hours longer. Several plans were made to retrieve John's body, including cutting it into 2 pieces. Ultimately, authorities decided to seal Nutty Putty Cave permanently, declaring it John's grave. Today, John's body remains inside Nutty Putty Cave in the same position, serving as a grim reminder of the dangers of cave exploration. A plaque outside the cave stands in his memory. We hope you enjoyed this video by Forgotten Mystery. Don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you for your love and comments. See you in the next amazing video.